and you had those early adopters
Mm-hmm.
that were just behind the company in a way that, people weren't really behind companies before. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is what made Tesla who it is.
Maybe this question fits here because I was thinking about that. What makes Tesla so special? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you can comment on this, or I have an idea.
So I think Tesla was just in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of like how Apple is. Like there's certain periods of time to when certain products will enter the market,
Yeah.
and they just hit the right people in the right way. And Tesla was just one of those companies. I mean, everybody knew about like the just global warming and all the things that was
Mm-hmm.
happening with the environment or whatever. And here comes Tesla at the height when the new
That's
president
true.
for America, and you know what I mean, and he had
Mm-hmm.
the initiative of being cleaner. And I mean it just like, I mean, people don't really think about that. You know what I mean? Like President Obama's first year was, it was 2008, and then you're just looking at like just a impetus of things that just happened right after that. And it was like, boom, you
Yeah.
got the roadsters out. Like this is a sporty looking freaking electric vehicle that
Yeah.
looks like nothing else. And then like, oh yeah, and we're going to announce a sedan. It's like, nah. And then you had all the haters and everybody's talking about,
Yeah.
there's no way it can't happen.
That's vaporware. That's
Yeah.
not real.
But
the efficiency can.
yeah, that right there put a spark in people, right? Like there were people that were just like, nah, man, we need to take care of the environment. And you had those early adopters
Mm-hmm.
that were just behind the company in a way that, people weren't really behind companies before. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is what made Tesla who it is. Like me being part of the Tesla's Owners Club, like I
Mm-hmm.
see it all the time. Like even in my city, we have thousands of members, but I see cars every day and they're not members. Like, I mean, there's hundreds of people out there driving around that I have no idea who they are. And back in the day, I say back in the day, it was like 5 years ago. Back in the day, I would, I would know. You'd be like, hey,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I know who you are and you know who I am. And
Yeah.
man, we'll see you at the next meet, right? Like, yeah. But now it's like, I have no idea who that person is. And I think there was a little bit of that about like sticking up for the company and realizing that they were trying to do something good. I think a lot of people talk about, and you were on that call yesterday with the where they talk about missions and people
Mm-hmm.
and companies that have a mission. And I think Tesla's mission spoke to a lot of people at the right time. And even now,
Yeah.
like I think Elon Musk is one of those type of people that's just world renowned and respected, but in America, he doesn't get as much respect as he does in other countries. And it's kind of like, it's a weird thing, right? It's like, man, he's doing all of this in America, from America, for America, and in the world. And people still like dog on him and treat him like crap. And it's like, but why? Like, and it's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I just think it just came along at the right time, and it had a good enough mission, and it spoke to people at a time when they were ready
Mm-hmm.
to be inspired with the everything that was happening globally. It just happened to just fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've touched on pretty interesting points. Also, the popularity of Elon Musk. In your one of your last sentence, you said now. I find it very interesting because, yes, the perception here in Germany as well is a little bit interesting because you don't step out of line in Germany somehow. That's a part of our culture that you're more like, especially in the business context, you're very like, you have to vote for everything. It's very democratic, but you still have those CEOs and those boards that decide, and they give you a leading position. But in the background, there's still the whole conglomerate, and if you don't comply with the vision of the whole team, then you cut off. Like Herbert Diess, for example, was also like cut off at some point because he was too vocal and verbal about the shortcomings VW had, so they cut him off. That's why an American CEO, especially someone like Elon Musk, who is like. Absolutely, he has his own head. He decides things for himself, and that's for us. It's like arrogance or something. That's seen as arrogant and very cocky and very also American, if that makes sense. That's just it's not my opinion, but in general, I feel that the Germans tend to have these tendencies to view this like this. And also in the German media, of course, Elon Musk is a target all the time as well. I just wanted to give you a little bit context because you touched on this point. I think it's important to clear this also up a little bit. But I think when you look at the things he does, or look especially at the long form interviews he conducted, not the short form, not the tweets, not this. If he talks about the mission that he wants to do, I mean, he has tears in his eyes. He's very passionate about what he's doing. He wants to help people. Sometimes he has maybe Twitter or X rants a little bit, or says something stupid and has to delete it. I mean, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't agree with some of his politics things he says or something. But overall, I don't really care, because he is so crazy with making these things happen, building teams that are capable of doing this. And so I just wanted to touch on this as well. But do you think that Tesla could have happened if there was no Elon Musk, actually? Do you think that the two founders could have done it themselves? I don't know.
That's a great question. I mean, you don't really want to put nobody on a spot like that, but if they could have done it, then they would be doing it now, right? They would be they would have
3 Teslas at least.
Yeah. They would have some type of other business that they'd be running successfully if they could have done it. But I think also you touched on something very unique with Elon, is, for better or for worse, he's very outspoken. You're able to get insight to him like you wouldn't any other CEO. I don't even know. I can tell you right now, I don't know a lot of people who like Jeff Bezos, but everybody uses Amazon. You know what I mean? Whereas where people whereas people will be like, oh, I don't really like Elon, so I'm going to return my car. It's like, what? Like,
do that for the next 5 years and come back, actually, because the efficiency is still much better. Hopefully nobody remembers that I was saying this, but I am driving a Tesla again.
Very, very interesting times, man. Yeah, it's pretty wild, and I think about things like that a lot. Like he is so outspoken and so giving of his time, whereas most billionaires aren't, right? Like,
very secretive.
You don't really have a lot of insight, and for him, he's very, just, man, like, for him to be so giving of information and speaking his mind and speaking his truth, and you know what I mean, like, I don't agree with a lot of his politics, but I'm still gonna do what I have to do for the community, because I think it's a good mission. I think it's a good vehicle. I think it's the safest vehicle. I wouldn't have my family in anything else, right? But I think it's just one of those type of things where you can disagree with the person and still like the services of the product that they provide. There's a lot of people that don't care about Bill Gates, but they'll still use a PC. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But he's held to a different standard for whatever reason. But it is what it is. And I think it has something to do with the fact that he is so outspoken. And if he was a little bit more secretive, then I think the company probably wouldn't flourish the way it does. And because I think that insight works for a lot of people like myself and like you, and you know what I mean? Like, how many other, there's like a few Mach-E this and a few Lucid that's or whatever, but holy cow, is the world filled with Tesla information. You know what I mean? You're able to have this podcast and this forum, and you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for a lot of companies. Like I was saying this earlier, how like kids, they'll point out a Tesla when they see one, but nobody's doing that for anything else. Oh my God, there's a Ford Mustang, or there's a Mach-E. You know, people don't do that. They don't really care. Oh my God, I see a Lucid, a Rivian. Like, it just doesn't happen. And Tesla is
That's true.
just it's and I think Tesla's just one of those companies that just inspires, and it grabbed people at a time where it's been really impactful for a lot of years. And I used to
Yeah.
think, like, back in the day when the Model S was first announced, this was like there was only the Roadster. You know, I mean, celebrities had them. Nobody else really had anything, and they had announced the Model S, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's pretty compelling. But I always thought there's no way Legacy Auto is gonna allow this company just to run away with such a good idea and not step in to, you know what I mean, to overtake.
Yeah.
Or, you would honestly think that, and I think
Mhm.
even JB Straubel said that, like, they had released all their patents and everything, and they thought, well, we better move fast because people are going to be coming for our head. Here we are, like, over 10
And
years.
nobody showed up to the party.
How
Crazy.
insane is that? They let
Yeah,
Tesla have
absolutely.
this huge lead on the industry, and like they created the vehicle, they created the freaking fueling stations for the vehicle, and now everybody's got to bow and come kiss the ring for services. It's wild.